The Angels, Fashion and Fame. Ray Davies from the Kinks. Ray, you worked with the Angels, what, about a year ago in America?
About 2 years ago, yeah.
How did you find them?
Find them? Well, the agency found them.
And they didn't meet that way.
Yeah.
Did they go down well?
Yeah, well, yeah, they did the first half of our US tour on the West Coast. And I think they did all right, yeah.
Of all those years, you see the Angels today and the groups of today,
Yeah.
comparing back to the 60s, how do you think it's changed? Is it for the better or for the worse?
I think it's quite healthy now because there's lots of different... Every band has got their own sort of style, and they're accepted what they do. Like Devo got their own style, and you've got Human League got their own style, Kinks, Rolling Stones, people like that. But then I think people would categorise. You had the Liverpool groups, the London scene, and all that, and it was a bit narrow, really. I think it's quite healthy now. You know, it's very, I think 1978, 79, that period was very similar to sort of the middle 60s, when Kinks started playing.
There are quite a few bands around at this stage that have covered your songs. Are there any that you really prefer? Is there one that you really like, a band that has covered a song that stands out?
Oh yeah, I like the Jams, David Watts. It's brilliant, you know. In fact, Pretenders, Stop Your Sobbing, of course. Actually, they were doing, they did two of my songs, they were doing them about a year or so before I met her.
Yeah.
So it isn't, I've known her about 2 years.
Now the Union Band apparently stopped you from getting away from your personal side to work in America. It kept you back for quite a few years. There was some ban on over there.
Yeah, it was a time when we had all those single successes, you know, a big string of hits, and we couldn't really go to America and kind of capitalise on it. And when we finally got the ban lifted, to this day, I still don't know what it was about.
Right.
But when we finally got there, we had to start again, you know, because nobody had heard of us. And after a string of sort of 16, 18 hits,
after all those years,
you have to go back and start from the beginning. I think it did us a lot of good.
Can you tell me about that play that we've heard about, that Prince Charles?
Oh, Chorus Girls.
Yeah, can you explain that one?
Well, I was commissioned by the National Theatre in London, by Sir Peter Hall, with a playwright called Barry Keefe to write an updated Aristophanes play, comedy. And it didn't quite work out the way they wanted it to, but we believed in it, and we took it to a little theatre on the sort of outside of London, sort of the off-Broadway of London, and put it on there last year. It, you know, went down quite well. Had, you know, flaws in it, but we've been asked to do another one this year, so I like working in the theatre.
What is the storyline to that thing?
Well, we had to base it on the original play.
Yes.
And basically Prince Charles goes to open the biggest unemployment centre in Europe, which is this theatre. They can knock down the theatre and put up an unemployment centre. And the women take over the theatre and kidnap Prince Charles, because there's a lot of unemployed actresses in Britain, apparently.
Yeah. Is that a big love of yours to get into that theatrical side of it, outside of the music?
Well, I did theatre at college, and I always thought I'd go back to it. You know, when I left college, the head of college said, "You will always come back to the theatre." You know, I think it's important in my music too, in the way I write. You know, because I kind of dramatise situations.
Of all the songs you've written, is there one favourite?
No. I like, that sounds corny, but it's kind of true. I like the newer stuff I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, newer. I've got an attachment to the old things, but...
You don't tend to live in the past, eh?
That's wrong.
Just keep going.
That's my advice to Australia. Don't live in the past.
Good on you, Ray. Thank you for coming. We're going to have to, because we don't have a whole stack of clips, so we'll play Ape Man. Yeah. That's okay.
Ape Man?
And enjoy your tour of Australia.
You got a silly Ape Man? No. I'll confiscate it immediately. You can't watch it.
Thank you. Ray Davies, and here are the Kinks, Ape Man.
1964, it's been a while. They are, without a doubt, one of the most successful rock groups to come out of England. Their hits just keep coming. Before we talk to Ray, let's listen to some of his music, or their music.
To be with you in the daytime.
I think so.
Especially when you're playing the horn.
Ray Davies just said you have to be an athlete to be a musician. Well, you jump around like that, I suppose so. You should be in good condition.
Get carried away, yeah.
Tomorrow night, Madison Square Garden. It's the first time you ever played there?
Yeah. We turned it down last year.
Why?
Well, we didn't felt we play small halls a lot. You know, we'd rather get intimate, but tomorrow will be good.
Tomorrow will be good. I think it must be pretty special to you. I understand you flew Mom in for this one.
It's a mistake. I flew somebody...
I mean, mistake, you flew her in?
Yeah, well, that would have been a big mistake, I think. Especially with my mother. But, my mother. It was, I was flying a friend up that we used to call Mama.
Oh, and they misinterpreted in the press.
And I think she's flown up already. So.
Oh, so,
Misquote.
Okay. All right, well, it is still special to you because if you're going to try and fill, what is it, 17,000 seats, how are the tickets going?
Well, I just heard from there was a guy downstairs when I walked in, a kid called Mike, I think his name was. He paid a phenomenal amount for a ticket off a scalper, sold out. So
how do you feel when you hear about that kind of thing, the scalping stuff?
appalled.
Bored?
Appalled.
Appalled. Yeah, because it kind of, why appalled?
Well, appalled. Well, as opposed to disgusted. You know, it's kind of a... I think it's, you know, they buy... I don't know what ticket prices are. I think ticket prices in general are too high anyway. It's... no, I've no idea. It's just what I do is real simple to me. And I'm really kind of surprised when I see people out there.
I don't know. You have not been described, you and your group, as being particularly simple. You have a new album out called Give the People What They Want. And the first tune on the first side, I was listening to it this morning, is the sound of changing the radio dial.
Oh, right. The whole show starts with that. We get a big build-up of that. And it's about kind of repressed radio programmers or DJs. It's about a DJ who wants to get out and play what he wants, and obviously he can't.
Well, there are a couple of other tunes in there that have a little heavier messages. One of them would be Killer's Eyes, which I'll let you explain.
Okay. I was on a tour of England, Scotland actually. We were on a coach and they said somebody's just tried to assassinate the Pope. I had this picture of this mad, crazed gunman, full page. And I just sat down, looked at his face and wrote the song. It's as simple as that. And of course we had the business, you know, in New York.
With John Lennon.
With John Lennon, which kind of obviously I felt about.
But did you...
Thought about.
Somebody said that you kind of saw that the climate of the world is such that none of this surprises you.
Did I?
Yes, you said, but you don't remember saying that.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. I've stayed in New York on and off for about 3 years now, so...
Oh, you've been living here, but the rest of the group lives elsewhere.
Yeah. I did some writing here because I'm a really lazy writer. I thought New York might speed me up.
Did it?
A bit, not so much.
What happened was there's so much to do here that you didn't have time to write.
So many restaurants, you know, so many restaurants to go to.
Another tune on this album, Destroyer, which I kept hearing the word paranoia throughout it. But reading your background, I wonder if it's kind of a life story kind of tune.
I think everybody's got a self-destructive instinct in them, especially nowadays. People are kind of torn, you know, the world's sort of really tearing people apart now. I think it does come out in most people. And I've found a few people, kids on a tour, you know, they come up to me and say, I've got the same problem. You know, I have this duality inside me.
1973, you said you were going to leave the group.
Wow.
Changed your mind.
I can't believe the research on this program.
You said you were going to leave the group, and you decided to stay. Can you tell me why you wanted to leave and why you changed your mind?
Because I really like playing. That's all there is to it, and that's why I keep going. So when you ask me what's the secret of the Kinks' longevity, I'll say because I like playing music.
But I didn't ask you that.
No, but
I'm asking you why you wanted to leave the group.
Why? Because I felt music was really boring at the time. In the early 70s, up until 1976, was really programmed, and it was very sort of dull music. So we phased out a bit, and we did our own little experiments and played in little gigs. And then 1977, it got interesting again. There's more energy.
Well, we certainly saw an example of it in that tape, and I'm sure you'll show that on stage tomorrow night. As we close this interview, let me say that you have been described as a preservationist, a worrywart, a social critic, a craftsman, a clown.
The bore.
And the last one, a bore and a genius.
I won't argue with that.
What the heck.
Okay.
They'll go see whether or not tomorrow night.
No, I think they're going to have a good time, just dance. Yeah. It's just a gig, you know?
Just a gig. Madison Square Garden, 17,000.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for coming by.
Thanks.
And good luck to the Kinks, for the most part, all together as a group after 20 years. Okay.
16.
16. Jack?
Yeah, sure. Fine, very well.
Good. You know, I just introduced. You've been around for 8.